Hello, this is Teacher Nicole at Literacy Pittsburgh. How are you today? I'm good, thank you. This is a video for Citizenship. This is a video for the 2020 version of the Civics test. We will talk about the American Revolution and George Washington. Okay, are you ready? Okay. We will talk about the American Revolution, father of our country, George Washington. Colonists came here for freedom. Colonists came here for freedom. American colonists lived in the 13 original colonies. Okay, so remember we have two words that are a little the same. Colonists, colonies. So the people are colonists. C-O-L-O-N-I-S-T-S. Colonists are the people that came from Europe. The places, colonies. Colonies. So New York was a colony. Before it was a state, New York was a colony. Pennsylvania was a colony. There were 13 original colonies. Okay, and remember from previous videos, the American flag has 13 stripes because there were 13 original colonies. Okay. So, the colonists lived in colonies, and in the 1700s, the British king, King George, was the leader of the colonies. Okay, so this is before the Declaration of Independence. We didn't have a president. The leader of America, of the colonies, was the King of England, or the British king. The government of the colonies was Britain. Britain. Okay, Britain is part of the United Kingdom. Now we say England, but Britain was the place. And Britain was the government of the colonies. The American colonists, the people that lived in America from Europe, the American colonists had to pay high taxes to the king. Americans were angry about the high taxes. Okay, they didn't want to send money to England. They had to send a lot of money to the King of England. They didn't like that. They were angry about the high taxes. They were angry for many reasons. This is one reason they were angry, because they had to pay high taxes. So they had a war. Okay, there was a war between the American colonists and the British soldiers. The American colonists are wearing blue jackets, and the British soldiers are wearing red. Okay. They had a war against the British because they didn't want to pay taxes to England. One reason. Okay. The Americans fought a war called the American Revolution. American Revolution. The Americans declared independence from Britain in the American Revolution. Okay, in what war did the Americans declare independence from Britain? The American Revolution. The Americans declared independence from Britain because of high taxes. Name one reason why the Americans declared independence from Britain. High taxes. Okay. Name one reason the Americans declared independence from Britain. High taxes. Okay. Let's look at this picture. This is a picture of George Washington. George Washington was a leader in the American Revolution. He was the commander of the American Revolution. In this picture, we see Washington with some other soldiers in a boat. They are crossing a river, the Delaware River. Okay, so in this picture, we see George Washington as the commander. They are crossing in a boat across the Delaware River. Okay, this is one important event that happened in the American Revolution. Okay, Washington crossing the Delaware. George Washington was the commander-in-chief in the American Revolution. Okay. He was in charge. He was the commander-in-chief of the American Revolution. Washington crossing the Delaware was an important event in the American Revolution. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Washington crossing the Delaware. Okay, listen again. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Washington crossing the Delaware. Okay. And Washington is the father of our country. George Washington is famous for many things. Name one. Washington is the father of our country. Okay, so let's practice the questions again. We are practicing questions 76, 77, 80, and 86 from the new Civics test, the 2020 version of the Civics test. Name one reason why the Americans declared independence from Britain. High taxes. Listen again to the question. Name one reason why Americans declared independence from Britain. High taxes. What war did the Americans fight to win independence from Britain? What war did the Americans fight to win independence from Britain? The American Revolution. What war did the Americans fight to win independence from Britain? American Revolution. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Washington crossing the Delaware. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Washington crossing the Delaware. George Washington is famous for many things. Name one. Father of our country. George Washington is famous for many things. Name one. Father of our country. Now let's practice writing. Okay, if you are a student at Literacy Pittsburgh, you can take a picture of your writing sentences and send the picture to your teacher. Okay, maybe I am your teacher. You can take a picture and send to me. Maybe teacher Allegra is your teacher, or teacher Roberta. Whoever is your teacher, you send a picture. Okay. Okay, let's practice writing. Listen and write. Washington is the father of our country. Washington is the father of our country. Washington. 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 Is. Is. The. The. Father. 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 Of. Of. Our. Our. Country. 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 Washington is the father of our country. Washington is on the dollar bill. Washington is on the dollar bill. Washington is on the dollar bill. Washington. 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 Is is on on the the dollar dollar bill bill. Washington is on the dollar bill. Washington was the first president. Washington was the first president. Washington was the first president. Washington. 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 Was. 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 The. The. First. 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 President. 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 Washington was the first president. Delaware was the first state. Delaware was the first state. Delaware. 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 Was. 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 The. T-H-E, the. First. F-I-R-S-T. First. President. P-R-E-S-I-D. I'm sorry. State. S-T-A-T-E. State. Delaware was the first state. New York City was the first capital. New York City was the first capital. New. N-E-W. New. York. Y-O-R-K. York. City. C-I-T-Y. City. Was. W-A-S. Was. The. T-H-E. The. First. F-I-R-S-T. First. Capital. C-A-P-I-T-A-L. Capital. New York City was the first capital. Now let's practice reading. When you take the reading test, you will read a question out loud. Who is the father of our country? Who is the father of our country? Who is on the dollar bill? Who is on the dollar bill? Who was the first president? Who was the first president? Who was George Washington? Who was George Washington? What was the first state? What was the first state? What was the first capital? What was the first capital?